That's right. We're talking food today. We have Vanessa Baxter from the Fearless Kitchen in the studio with us. And Vanessa is also part of the team at St. Bart's. So we'll get in a little bit of a conversation in there as well. But today we're talking ice cream. And I just want to play this for you. This is a sound that, if you're an Aussie child, this might recognise this. That's a sound from my childhood when it comes to ice cream vans.
I think it's been taken literally from the van because that would be one of the worst recordings ever. I mean, this is the thing about the Mr. Whippy van. It's like all the kids run out and the adults are cringing at that horrific version of Greensleeves, which he...
But it's but it is an iconic sound for many of us when it comes to ice creams. And I kind of think about when it comes to ice creams, we've all got our own stories, you know, whether it's just the vanilla blend that we have, you know, all the toppings that we put on the ice creams, or the Neapolitans.
Yeah, Neapolitan.
You know,
do you remember
and
when
the
that
cheap
first came out?
Neapolitans.
I know. It was the cheap vanilla ice cream you'd have at home, and then maybe a strawberry, then maybe a chocolate, and then all of a sudden, Mum came home and there were 3 flavours in one tub, one white plastic tub with those 3 flavours, and it was all confection anyway. Goodness only knows what was actually in there. A bit like Mr. Whippy, really. So overwhelmed.
You don't ask questions.
You're paying for air, really.
But hey, this is what we're talking about today. We're talking about ice creams. We want to hear from you. So what are your ice cream memories? What are your ice cream stories? And what are your favourite ice cream toppings? And we're talking all things ice creams. Now, when it comes to ice creams, Vanessa, what are your, let's start with, what's your favourite combination? What's your go-to when it comes to ice cream?
I think I love a challenge, or I like to try different things all the time, right? So I fell in love with gelato when I was in Italy, and I'd always loved ice cream, like literally always loved ice cream. And then I went to Italy and I was like, oh, this is the most incredible ice cream. And it wasn't the really high sort of fluffy ones, which, you know, I hate to burst everyone's bubble, but have probably been made from powder on the tourist sort of route of Italy. But it was those small bespoke ones that you find, and it's that real dense because it's just been slowly churned, and it feels really rich and creamy. But interestingly, it's about that churning being very slow and not too much air in it, and it feels amazing. So I fell in love with those, and I do love a good kind of rich flavour. I'm not into a fruit ice cream. I'll have a sorbet if I'm going to have fruit, but I want those really rich, yummy flavours. And then, having lived in New Zealand love their ice cream, and there's some amazing creators of different ice cream flavours there. So I became re-obsessed in New Zealand, and I love, you know, that whole sort of rich dark caramels and salted macadamias and just really like depth of flavour and then texture crunch. So I don't know, it'd be interesting to hear. Someone's already texted in, Kathy from Padbury, vanilla ice cream with Milo mixed in. Oh my gosh, I remember that as a child, where you've got the sprinkles, you put the hundreds and thousands on top of the vanilla, wait for it to start to melt, get your spoon and start to mix it in, and you watch the colour come off the... Oh my gosh, that's such a great memory. Thank you, Kathy. That's brought back my childhood.
Very much so. And just that whole Milo on anything.
Anything.
Yes, very much so when it comes to ice cream. And Glenn has said in, oh, come on guys, stop talking about ice cream. I can't have sugar right now.
Oh, sorry, Glenn.
Oh.
That doesn't sound good.
You know, hey, we're still going to talk ice cream though, mate. Tell us your favourite style, even if you can't have it. So now we have a ton of messages that have come through, which is just showing everyone's love of ice cream. And James in Woodvale saying, well, let's talk about ice cream, Doug. Currently feeling a bit of boysenberry and raspberry and white chocolate, vanilla, partial to choc mint. And my daughter tells me that it's such a dad flavour.
I don't know. I
think choc mint might be a bit of a dad flavour. I like the boysenberry. Boysenberry white chocolate.
Might be. I've got one from a couple of guys. One is boysenberry.
Yes.
So that's interesting. Michael says boysenberry from St. Bart's, and also from St. Bart's, Justin says green tea. I think he's a little bit modern with the green tea.
I don't really know what boysenberry is. I just kind of think it is just a combination of the berries smashed together.
No, boysenberry's a berry.
It is a correct berry. Well, there you go. Yeah,
Doug,
the ones I've seen have always been chemically induced. So we've got Nancy in Balcatta, whipped Mr. Whippy with a flake in it, and then goes on to say 99 cents is all it costs. So less than $1, you get your Mr. Whippy with a flake. But you and I were talking off air. It's like Mr. Whippy back in the day used to be the soft serve, maybe dipped in the chocolate, but the cone was an awful...
Oh, it was awful, yellowy, gross thing that you had to eat the ice cream really quickly or the entire cone
just fell apart.
Disintegrate like a piece of napkin or something.
That's right. And while I think about it, I just want to say shout out to Paul, the ice cream man, who came and gave us free ice cream for our Christmas party here at Sunshine.
Yeah, great.
And we did on, so shout out to him, who is not making gross cones or gross stuff. He's doing it well. But back in the day, it was a little bit funky.
Yeah, it was. It was. And I want to read from Jessie. This is great. Over 20 years ago when I was a child, we lived in New Zealand. We used to go to a place called Pocono's Ice Cream. Huge servings and cheap. Not sure if it's still as good now, but definitely my best memory of ice cream as a child. Well, I can confirm that the original Pocono ice cream does still exist. They're still saying New Zealand's biggest ice cream is in Pocono. So it
there you go, Jessie. If you ever go back, you can relive the childhood memories. Hey, when it comes to your office conversations, tell us about what's happening with the St. Bart's crew.
It was amazing. I sent out this survey and I thought, I wonder if anyone will even answer. And it was just like response. And it got everyone smiling and laughing. I think, there's a couple of favourites, but Adrienne came back and said one of her best ice cream moments was watching her toddler fall asleep literally head first into a bowl of ice cream. And you can visualise it, that tiredness of the child, but they just want to finish their ice cream and then dunk the next thing they're sound asleep in it, which is great. There's another one here from Dana, whose mum makes the best kulfi, which is an Indian iced confection, really. It's made with homemade condensed milk, pistachios, cardamom, saffron and rose. You don't churn it, but it goes into these metal moulds and then set. So it is really creamy and beautiful.
Creamy
oh my gosh, I so want to make that.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, and then plenty of others, remembering when the kids were little and Mr. Whippy went past and walking to the corner store with Granddad to have an ice cream cone and a chat, and just those really wholesome memories from everyone. And the crew from our Future Homes team, Sarah and Michael and Cara, who all responded, they said, consumers at St. Bart's who are our residents or the people that use our services in general across all things, ice cream, if you talk ice cream, everyone's eyes just light up. It's just that the imagining of the sweet treat or even just the simple icy pole that you might be given, at the end of a sports day. Those are the memories that people are responding to, I think, the
Very
most.
much so. Brad in Queen's Rocks is saying chocolate every time. Very much so.
Chocolate something, I think, like whether it's chocolate flavour itself or a chocolate topping or chocolate sprinkles or something with chocolate. And I wonder about people with nuts. No one's really mentioned nuts, but some of my team at St. Bart's, like our people and culture chief officer, she said that she loves pistachio, and a couple of others also said pistachio, like it's a thing apparently at the moment, pistachio. And I do love sort of like a macadamia or a hazelnut sort of through. Yeah. But I didn't love back in the day that you were describing earlier, Doug, around the Mr. Whippy dipped in the nuts. I think people just chop peanuts.
Yeah, but I don't mind that.
You like that?
Even these days, I still don't mind a sundae with a little bit of chopped peanuts on it. I know some people might have an allergy to it, but I don't mind it.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, if you don't have an allergy, and it's got that crunch, but I don't know about peanuts. I don't know.
But anyway, I was going to tell you this story. So when I was a kid, I was growing up in Melbourne. My grandmother lived in Glenroy, and not far from where she lived, there was an ice cream shop. They did kind of like the Mr. Whippy type ice creams, but it was there so this is back in the early mid-70s. It was there. I don't know when it opened, but it was definitely there in the mid-70s when I was a kid. Through till only a few years ago, it changed to become a cafe. Maybe it was the grandkids or whatever, but it was still in operation right up until the mid to late 2000s. And I never went back in there as an adult, but I do remember driving past this place and all these memories flash back of going in there with my grandmother as well, on the way to the train station or on the way home again. And just some of those places, like there's, you go down Bustleton and there's the the famous ice creamery down there that we all like to go to. You pay a little bit for your ice cream, but you get the samples and you get all those things there. Places have iconic memories for us, like Pocono.
They definitely do. Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, my dad used to churn ice cream for us at our birthday parties. I think we've talked about that before when we were talking about childhood memories. Pack the dry ice. Mum would make the actual mixture in the kitchen. So, you know, cook that custard. So it was proper ice cream custard that has been beautifully, you know, it started to just get lovely and smooth and rich. And then Dad would pack the external part of the ice cream maker, which was enormous, and would sit on the grass with the dry ice. Mum would come and pour in the custard, and then Dad would churn, and we'd all line up to do a churn. He must have just churned that for ages and ages. And then we had the little cones that you could buy at the supermarket. You probably still can, but I don't have young kids, so I don't know anymore. But they sort of had a flat bottom, the cones, and we'd line them all up on the grass, and Dad would give us all a scoop. And it was just such a hit of our birthday parties. And it's about the memory, isn't it?
Very much so, very much so.
Everyone hands-on.
But as you described that, you had no choice but to become a foodie.
I think you're right. Look, Mum was a great cook. My grandmother was a great cook, and Dad was right in there as well. So absolutely, I was a very lucky child. I was surrounded by people who loved food, and consequently, that's where I've ended up as well.
Yes, no, very much so, very much so. Hey, we need to put a wrap a bow on this. When it comes to ice creams or that, are there any recommendations that if someone wants to try an ice cream or get out and do something different, what would you say?
I just think be adventurous. Yeah, give something a go that you haven't tried before, or if you're at home and you've got a tub of vanilla, have a think about another ingredient that you really enjoy and, stir it through. You know, just don't ever completely melt an ice cream to stir something through. But you could soften it a little bit or grab your tub of basic vanilla, throw it into a food processor or a blender with something that you think, I wonder if this would go well. And then once it's sort of churned and soft, then throw it straight back into the freezer. You'll be fine to do that. And you never know. You could come up with the iconic new flavour for 2026.
You could do. Christmas pudding ice cream.
Oh, yum. That's another discussion.
That's another discussion. Hey, we're gonna wrap it there. Thank you very much, Vanessa. Thoroughly enjoyed our time.
Same.
Thank you for all your text messages. They have been wonderful. And I'll leave you with this iconic sound. You're Doug. This is Mornings and you're on Sunshine.